Welcome back to another exciting episode of No Quest for the Wicked. Friends, I have two very important questions for you. First, are you ready to rock?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I like rocks.
Yes.
More importantly, are you ready to roll?
Yes.
I'm gonna roll some rocks.
I can take the dodge action.
Hell yeah. The sun peeks out from behind the snow-capped mountains of the Polaris Peaks. A soft, rolling fog creeps down from the foothills and lingers lazily over the Ladies' Basin, the crystal-clear lake that surrounds the city of Savengrad. Though the dawn is just breaking, the city is bustling with excitement and revelry, for today is one of the most celebrated holidays of the year, the Dewdawn Festival. Children shriek with joy as they chase illusory creatures in a game of snatch-up. Lovers steal away into the still-shadowed alleys for a moment of privacy. Tourists and locals alike take in the spectacular sights of the traveling acrobats, the sounds of the wandering bards, the smells of the bakeries and taverns that keep the festival-goers' bellies and tankards full. As dawn breaks and sunlight dances across the pastel clay roofs of lilac purples, rose pinks, and marigold oranges, Savengrad's brilliance is on full display. The flower beds that line every street are in full bloom, the petals of their floral arrangement still kissed with the festival's namesake moisture. A nearby cafe offers a brief respite from the chaos of the festival proper, though it is still abuzz with its own energy. A couple sits side by side, holding hands as the young man playfully dips his pastry in his boyfriend's coffee. A group of older ladies whisper the latest gossip to one another, before erupting into cackling laughter as the eldest picks up the porcelain teapot to fill her companion's glasses with a steaming red tea. A waiter hustles across the patio, carrying an amount of plates that would be impossible for anyone that didn't have the perfect combination of the confidence of youth and the experience of working too many double shifts. A shimmering floating tray follows behind him as a spectral blue hand snags empty glasses and plates and loads up the tray. As the young waiter places his final plate, he gracefully sidesteps to the next table, whipping out his notepad from his apron and flicking the pencil from behind his ear. As he opens his mouth to begin his practice speech of the daily special, he freezes. He cocks his head and turns his ear towards the town center. What's that sound? It's not uncommon for the festival to be loud, but the screams now floating through the morning air don't sound like the typical ones of joy and delight. The patrons of the cafe all begin turning and noticing the noises now as well. On top of the screaming, there's a new sound. From this distance, it sounds like a large swarm of insects. But as the noise grows, the ground rumbles. The panes of glass in the windows of the surrounding buildings begin to rattle. Niall, could you introduce Marcus Biscuits and let me know how he's warning this cafe of the coming danger?
Yeah. Is it a swarm of insects?
It's not.
Okay. You see running down these cobbled streets a 4'1" tall kobold with lavender scales. He's got a obscenely large battle axe on his back that's just dragging and sending sparks up on the cobblestones as he tries to run. And he's got this glowing megaphone up to his mouth, and he's just "Oh God, get out of the cafe, it's coming."
And with that warning, there isn't much time before a colossal brass spike crests around the corner and impales one of the building, shattering windows and doors within this small house, single-story house. And then the rest of this large mechanical brass clockwork spider, about the 4 or 5 stories tall, comes shattering around the corner, the noise of its hydraulics and gears whistling and groaning and creaking, and the cafe now sees what you are warning it: a massive mobile clockwork tavern in the shape of a spider known as the Taverna Arachni that has lost complete control and is now rampaging down through the streets of Savengrad. Kai, would you like to introduce Tyree and let me know how they are attempting to reach the top of this giant rampaging mechanical spider?
Tyree shoves the last of the baked good that they were eating into their mouth. We sort of see over the top a almost plume of curly, reddish auburn hair that is tightly trimmed on the sides and kind of falls over his face in a almost elegant but very buoyant kind of fall of hair in the front. He is very freckled with very tan skin, a gnomish young person He has a somewhat slim build, kind of untrimmed beard, only a little bit trimmed. He does all right, but this is not his forte. But as he shoves the rest of this sweet pastry into his mouth, he hears the commotion. Oh, all right, here we go. And from almost a leaning position, he pushes himself up and he doesn't even jump. He kind of just reaches a hand out, and from his fingertips, red feathers just spurt out and down his arms, taking his entire clothes with him. Wings just begin to grow, and he begins to shrink down into the size of about a 1.5 to 2 foot wingspan hawk. And the hawk with keen red feathers, red eyes, a little bit like a firebird, just shoots into the sky towards the rampaging tavern.
Yep. Would you like to describe V, Dillin? And you are currently standing in a tavern, the inside of the tavern, back to back with the large orc who has also joined your team, Rovan. On one side, you are looking at these 2 large clockwork bouncers. On the other side, Rovan, you are looking at these sort of spider-like people. They seem to be a magically created spider person, waiter. They all sort of have shaker tins in each one of their 6 legs or arms that aren't standing. They have a shimmering crown over their head that seems to be sort of spiraling their eyes. It's very obvious that they are under some sort of mind control spell. Dillin, please describe V.
Sure. V is a very short little goblin who has just taken a big, great axe made of stone off of her back and is sort of like a quaint looking goblin, sort of big, giant Disney eyes with a little bit of a glisten to them, and a kind of crooked, charming smile, and colorful, bright rags that she wears. But when she takes this great axe off her back and sees, correct me if I'm wrong, the tavern that is raging is the one we are in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. And she takes this great axe off her back and leans to Rovan, who's right behind her. He goes, I don't know about you, but I think I was born for this.
And Q, please describe Rovan.
Of course, quite the opposite sight of the small goblin. You see about a 6'5", pretty broad, greenish gray-skinned individual who appears to be orcish in nature. They, while orcish, they have this gentility to them. Their eyes are soft, a dull greenish color to them. There's always a smile upon their face, even within the face of danger, as is very apparent right now. They wear a cutoff, almost for lack of a better word, almost a Henley of sorts, and it's a beigeish color, but looks almost gray because it's definitely not all the way clean, or if it is clean, it's just very dingy. Because who got time for all that? Some brownish pants, nice boots upon their feet, though the toes definitely shoot through the bottoms of it because they have really big feet. What would be on their back and is currently in their hand is a pretty simple yet ornate longbow, almost elvish in nature, and they have a straw hat on the top of their head. Their little pointy ears kind of poking out from the side, large tusk protruding from their mouth, and they just kind of survey the scene. I wouldn't say I was born for this, but the barn does burn a lot, so I probably can help. But also, and they seem to purse their lips, and as they do, a sound so silent comes out, yet almost every animal in the vicinity can hear it. More importantly, the current red-tipped hawk that is circling the sky, looking above this place that is currently struggling. You see Chucky, which is their name, is currently surveying the scene. I should probably help, and they are going to start heading towards the space to make sure, one, to see if anybody needs help, and if the building is clear, then they can decide otherwise.
And finally, as the giant arachnid mechanical spider is rampaging through the city, V and Rovin somehow have made their way into the tavern, with Tyree flying above, making their way to the top, where it seems to be like a sort of like control tower situation on its back. Marcus Biscuits running full tilt, warning the people ahead. Trailing behind is another small kobold. Ryan, would you like to describe Zavo as he just runs
just doing
behind?
Just doing his best. Zavo is 4'2", because I'm pretty sure Nell said 4'1", so he always makes it clear he's got that extra inch. Zavo is a little bit plainer in nature, sort of a dark gray kind of skin color as this little kobold is hustling. Not much equipment on them. The only thing they are sort of wearing are what looks to be stolen clergy garbs. That's like a little bit too big, that he has sort of fashioned to try to fit himself. He's embroidered his own made-up holy symbol for his god that only he knows about, his long-lost god, and he's just doing his best because he has nothing else that he can do in this situation except hustle and work his hardest. So he's just waiting and running and determined, like not faltering, just trying to get there to save the day because he's Zavo the Brave.
Marcus, despite the fact that it's pretty obvious what's happening, most of the street clears. Running down side streets, alleys, just getting out of the way. Your warning has worked. However, there is a shop on the left-hand side that you see, and you hear the bell above the door ding, as someone is leaving it, and they are carrying a stack of perfectly wrapped gifts. And they step out onto the street. It's a man in sort of like, he's in these like tights and a doublet that sort of like fits him a little too well, and this big purple hat. And he is walking directly out into the street as he shouts sort of pleasantries over his shoulder at the shopkeeper as he leaves. What would you like to do?
Is he about to get stepped on?
100%, yeah.
I would like to change my megaphone into a grappling hook and try to wrap him and pull him out of the way.
Okay, give me, I guess, an attack roll?
Sure.
I'll take an attack roll.
With Dex?
Yeah.
First roll. Cool, love the face.
Because this is a tool that I'm building out of my Shard of Creation, I can add a +6 to it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because I don't want to kill this man. That's a 14.
Yeah, that's more than enough to hit an unarmored civilian.
Probably wouldn't have been if I hadn't rolled.
How do you? What are you aiming for to yank him out of the way?
I just want to like wrap it around his waist so that the hook comes back around and catches on the rope, and I'll just pull him. Yeah,
and as you do, one of the top gifts, the whole like tower of gifts, sort of like creeps forward, and one of them slides off just in time for you to yank him into the center of the street, which is actually the safest because of the legs going through it. And this massive brass pincer of the bottom leg just crushes what seemed to be a small pastry that was in this box, and it just explodes all over the sidewalk. And the guy turns around and just says, "Oh, thank you so much. You saved my life." Whew. And can you please mark down Save Shopper?
Okay. And Marcus goes, "Yeah, you're welcome. You've been saved by Mark." Oh, wait, hold on. He pulls out a little piece of paper and he goes, "You've been saved by Cutter."
Oh my god.
And I forgot to mention, Marcus is wearing jorts and a really big backpack.
Okay.
Sure. Very important stuff.
Yeah. Fantasy jorts.
Aren't all jorts fantasy jorts?
Oh, God. No.
I'm not doing this.
Well, that's been the show, guys.
Tyree, as you are flying above, can you give me a perception check with advantage?
Yeah. Oh, my perception's broken as a hawk. That's awesome. They're both 12. It's 16.
As you are flying, just for a brief second, there's so much chaos happening. Your focus is pretty well directed at what it should be, the rampaging tavern that's destroying the city. But for a brief second, you catch a glimpse a couple rooftops away of a small person. It's hard to tell sort of like what they are or who they are, in a hood and a cloak, and they're running along the rooftop. and they're being chased by a couple other like larger figures, and then they manage to get a hand and grab the smaller figure, and that's kind of like all you see before you fly by sort of like a building that obstructs your view. Can you write down rooftop runner?
Aye, aye.
What would you like to do while you are soaring in the air? You can see the tavern from above. There are windows all around, and inside you can see kind of the situation what's happening inside. You can see V and Rovin and the workers, all the sort of like spider people workers and the bouncers. But as well, you can also see sort of another sort of dome towards where kind of like the head would be. There's a bunch of these like sort of reflecting crystals where their eyes would be, like just a whole shit ton of these crystals. And then sort of in the middle of that is a dome where you can see another spider person in there sort of controlling the thing. And you can see sort of that same sort of shimmering crown on their head.
I think that like hunter instinct kicks in, and we see the red hawk kind of bank and the white under feathers of the hawk kind of like catch the like little bit of light before kind of zooming down towards the head, thinking, well, if it's a living creature or if something is in there that can be convinced or perceived as like something that can be distracted or attacked so that it stops rampaging through this town, try to keep it safe. The tavern is a whole other problem. And as he does, you just hear, oh no, all right, here we go, because this hawk can somehow speak common.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Good.
Checks out.
So where are you heading? Are you heading towards the
head?
The cockpit? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
As you dive in, we follow past you and back into the tavern. V,
Yeah.
there are two of these like broad, almost like comically shaped clockwork bouncers. They look like someone reached into a cartoon and pulled out Big Beefy Man and turned them into a golem. And they are standing in front of a door that says manager, employees only, knock first, only if it's important. And there's just like a list of sort of like instructions of the only time it's okay to sort of like go through this door. And it pretty much starts middle and goes almost all the way to the floor. And you can tell that these bouncers are sort of protecting this door. As it creaks open a little bit, you see two hands kind of like around the corner of it. And then this weaselly little face of a human sticks his face out and just says, God, they're still here. And slams it again. And then you hear just like click, 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 as like another like shit ton of locks get put on from the other side.
Hey, no! There's something is attacking your bar in your town. Get out of here!
And then from behind the door, you just hear, security! And the bouncers begin walking towards you with like, doing like really menacing like fist pounds as they make their way towards you.
So scared. So scared of your big man fist pumps. Can I go over to the door and read that enormous list of reasons why you should be allowed in there so that I can find a loophole that will allow me to get past the bouncers and into the door?
Sure, yeah. So it's employees only. Please knock first. Only if it's important. Emergencies only between the hours of like 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. to midnight. And then it seems like it keeps going, and it seems like it's all sort of, and they get like smaller print as well. But if you're looking for something specific, I'm happy to work with you.
You know what? If it's just like sort of things like that, I think I will try very quickly to reason with these bouncers. Hey, it says right there, unless it's an emergency. This is an emergency.
The two bouncers look at each other for a second, and they cock their heads and think, and they point at you and they say, yeah, and we're about to make this emergency not an emergency. And then they like clap their, like start pounding their fists again, and they both sort of like raise their arms up to go and grab you.
Me? Not the big menacing thing that's rolling through here. Me? I'm the emergency? God, this town needs better security.
The bouncers say, we're here to protect the tavern.
From what? It's currently being attacked.
They look at you and they say, yeah, by you. And it seems very obviously that these things have been tampered with, and their protocol here is to maintain status quo of this thing freaking the hell out, and it knows you're trying to stop it, so they're trying to stop you. Rovan, you are on the other side of this tavern, and you can tell, like, right off the bat immediately that these spider people, the waiters and the workers here and the bartenders, are under some sort of spell. They've got, like, the big comical, like, spiral eyes as they're like, some of them are still working, but they're just like blank face, like shaking cocktails to the point where like some of them like don't even have anything in them. You can just see like them doing the motions. What would you like to do? There's a few of them like freaking the hell out, and one of them is like crawling up the wall to get like above you.
Does it seem like they're just kind of like acting like sporadically or like trying to attack? Because if Rovan believes dealing with these specific things won't end the problem, he won't deal with them. He will deal with something else. That's their problem for people in the tavern.
I think it's kind of both, right? Like you're not sure if they're going to start attacking the people in the tavern, but you can tell that they're a symptom of the problem, not the cause. So stopping them won't calm the tavern down. That seems to be another problem. But whatever's happening to the tavern is directly affecting them. But there is a chance that based on the way that some of them are acting and getting like erratic and twitching out, they could end up going hostile to you and the bar patrons.
Okay. Yeah, because he's not necessarily a I see people or start fighting type of person. He's going to go to the nearest one and just kind of like look at it, like pat its head. Are you in there still? I would like to not, pierce you with my arrows. I also have, and he like on his back, it's not an axe. It's a shovel. It's just pretty pointed. But if I have to subdue you, that I could do. But you don't seem like you're actually the problem, kind spirit.
I will take a persuasion, I will take an arcana, and I'll take an animal handling. Any one of those will work for what you're attempting to do here.
I will do animal handling if that is great here, because nothing else would be quite good. A dirty 20.
Hell yeah. For a second, you see those spirals stop spinning, and they kind of like reverse a little bit, and you see their eyes go lucid for a moment, and they just say, Where am I? What's happening?
I will have to find that one out too. But for now, you might want to get out of this space. It might crumble, and I don't want it to fall on top of you.
The spider person sort of like looks around for a second and just says, Wait, no, we shouldn't be moving. The tavern's not ready yet. The tavern's not ready yet. And they run to the window and sort of like press all their like legs and hands to the window and like look out the window, and they turn around and they grab you again with sort of like all their arms, and they say, You gotta help me stop it. If you can break me out, maybe we can break everyone out, and then we know how to stop it. So if you get us out, we'll get you out.
Okay, I can do that. I mean, I just walked in, so we can walk out.
You lead them towards where the like sort of entrance stairs would be, and you can see that they have, since it's begun freaking out and rampaging, the stairs have been snapped off. So there's about a like 30-foot drop down to the street.
Gotcha. Well, can you do you know how to hold on?
It looks at its like sort of sticky hands and says, "Yeah, I can hold on."
You can be like, what do they call them? A backpack or something.
It sort of skitters around behind you and just sort of jumps onto your back.
And as it kind of latches onto, like kind of pats it to make sure. And then I just like look at this. I look at what's going on, try to survey the sequence of events, basically. And I just literally start to climb down, as I do have a climbing speed.
Oh, shit. Okay. Hell yeah.
Nice.
I guess we gotta be cool like that.
Yeah.
Just gonna it's very much like, a rock climber finding the smallest of bits to latch onto, but doing it just like okay, and I think I'll get down. Brace yourself, and just starts to move down and just lails back up. I'll be right back. What is it? Wait, how do you pronounce the I in your name? I forget. Is it E or I?
It's Vi.
Vi. Okay, it's not V. I'll remember that. Vi. Okay, and it's just his voice is just echoing now as he's going lower and lower.
Can you give me an athletics or a sleight of hand, just as you are trying to like find, like you said, like these perfect places, as like the gears are turning and the pistons are moving, just to make sure your hands don't get crushed.
Absolutely. And as I'll do this as well, kind of yes, and all that. As I'm yelling out to Vi, as I yell out to you, his voice is maybe just soothing, perhaps, because I can use the help action as a bonus action. So you're gonna get some help in whatever you do. But as an athlete, hey, yeah, 22.
Hell yeah. You're
Nice.
able to, like, so sure with your hand placements, you're finding those perfect gaps where the gears are making like a perfect handhold for you, and you're holding on just long enough. I'm going to say with a roll that well, you make it down to the ground with this first spider person, and you can start like making your way back up. But while you are making your way back up, the leg carries you across a window, and you see into an apartment. And as you pass by, there's something that happens to you, and it's very strange because you see a couple inside fighting. It's two humans, and they're fighting, and you are overcome with emotion. Like a tear rolls down your eye, and it's completely involuntary. You don't know who these people are, but whatever's happening in there breaks your heart. And can you write down couple fighting?
Yes, I can.
Are we going to evoke couple fighting later as like an ability? Like, what do you do here, Dane? Like,
These notes are getting more and more
This
ominous.
is interesting.
Dane's fucking with all of us.
Zavo,
my only ability here is cardio, Dane. I don't know what else you want from me, my friend. Like, just hustle it.
yeah, give me an athletics check. Let's see how well you are at keeping up with this.
The answer is not great. Athletics, do I even know? I have a -1.
Oh no.
That's still a 14. So I'm
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah,
trying my best.
you're keeping pace. Every time it takes another step, you are just about within arm's reach of the back leg or the furthermost back leg, and then it just like and then like lifts out of your reach, and so you have to keep sort of like hustling. You see Rovan has come down and deposited one of these spider people onto the ground safely, and is sort of making their way back up into the spider. You've seen Tyree fly overhead and is sort of dive bombing the cockpit, and for the most part, Marcus has cleared the streets, so it is kind of a straight shot of safety. What would you like to? Is there anything that you would like to do or would like to attempt to do?
That's a great question. What can a little kobold do to stop a giant robotic spider in this situation? Everyone's off the streets. Clearly, Rovan is doing something to save the day. I'm going to roll a perception check. Do we know, like, from when this started, do I have any idea how it started? Did I see anything strange before it happened? Did just sort of, we were sitting down having lunch and then this building walked by? Like, what happened to me like 10 minutes ago?
This wasn't the surprise we were guarding, was it?
This is 100% the surprise you are guarding.
Cool, good,
Okay.
awesome. Yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
I step away for 1 minute.
I was just having a nice snack.
Yeah. I just want to get a sandwich.
Yes, you know that this
Yeah.
is a creation by the wizard known as Vergist Denbora. He's kind of like the local wizard, the eccentric magic guy of the city. And this was his big Dewdawn festival surprise. He was introducing this sort of like roaming tavern staffed by spider people. It was going to like kind of walk through the countryside. And it was going to be almost like a cruise ship, but for the land. It was able to like sort of like go up into the mountains. It was going to be like something you could rent out.
Totally normal.
Wizards.
And for whatever reason, while you guys were guarding this, it went haywire. So you were all sort of like in various stages of watching. Obviously, V and Rovan were inside the thing when it started. The rest of you kind of like catching up as it kind of took off. So that is the context of what's happening right now. This is you were hired to protect the tavern, and then the tavern went crazy.
All right. From here, I'm going to roll an Arcana check to see if I can come up with an idea if there's anything I can do from the outside to affect it magically.
Sure.
That's going to be a 21.
Hell yeah. You guys are rolling great.
Yeah. For now.
You can look at it, and as you keep getting really close to these legs, and you're getting a pretty good like view of the legs, you can see that like this is a clockwork machine. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of parts that could be tampered with. Various elements will have different effects on it. Fire, lightning, ice, all these things will affect the machinery and gears in different ways. So that if you want to target specific like joints and stuff, you can definitely do that to different effects.
Awesome.
You have an idea?
Yeah,
I'm
gonna use my Holy Blast. Definitely not Eldritch Blast. And I'm going to aim for the joints at one of these legs to start to try to slow it down.
Okay, hell yeah. Give me an attack roll.
And every time Zavo uses his Holy Blast, he does indeed shout Holy Blast.
Okay.
Because it's definitely a Holy Blast. That's going to be pretty good.
I thought it was a Holy Blast.
Sorry, Holy Blast! 21 to hit, Dane, please.
Yeah, you do. What are you aiming for? Are you aiming sort of like joints, legs?
Yeah, joints. I just want to slow it down. Eventually, maybe immobilize it, but for now, it's just slowing it down so I can catch up.
Okay, yeah, for sure. You managed to throw one of these Holy Blasts into the joint of one of the closest legs to you, and you see it sort of like buckle for a second. You know that you haven't done any damage to it, but you can tell that you might have locked or knocked like some of the gears out of place for a second, and they start going like ksh, 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 as they try to self-repair and self-correct, and this back leg begins dragging, and it does bring the whole tavern to a slow. It's still moving, but you can tell that without sort of like full 8-leg mobility, it's suffering pretty hard. While you are on the ground, can you give me a perception check, please?
I wonder what this might be for, Dane.
Dirty 20. We're rolling well. Too well.
Damn.
Hey.
I feel so nervous.
As you are chasing, you get a very brief glimpse as you cross through an alley, still shrouded in darkness as the sun is rising, of a man in this thick red leather armor and a person in a robe with the hood up. And they hand over what looks like a small sort of like burlap wrapped rectangle shaped package to the man in the armor. The man in the armor is handing the wrap package to the person in the robe, and they hand over a pretty generous sized pouch that you can hear a coin clinking within, and it seems to be some sort of back alley deal. If you want to write that down onto your notes there.
I'm so
concerned.
confused.
I'm concerned.
How many mysteries are we going to have to solve after this game?
Tyree, you are able to catch up. Now with the tavern moving a little slower, it's so easy for you to sort of pick a landing spot for this cockpit. As you get close, you can see, once again, the spider person in there, swirly eyes, and they're just kind of almost like robotically moving the levers with sort of like a deft precision to make this thing go. And you can see when they get to the leg that's kind of like janked up, they try to go through the motion, and when it doesn't work, they just kind of skip over it. There's no attempt to fix it. They're just kind of like going and walking forward. What would you like to do?
I think as Tyree comes in, he comes in kind of a sharp dive and purposefully then comes up so that all of his wingspan is entirely in the face of the cockpit. So now, like, I think this is also like how they take in the pilot and kind of looking it over, but trying to be a screen to make it harder to see, which I don't even know if that's going to affect their their actions, but that's the intention behind flying down here, and to see if there is a way as a hawk that he can somehow get closer to this, I'm assuming, robotic spider person with cartoon swirl eyes.
So the spider person isn't robotic. This is a real, but they're movements.
Okay.
Like they're going through a set of movements, like in repetition. That seems to be their thing. But if you're trying to sort of like snap them out of it by like freaking them out, I will allow you to roll an intimidate.
Oh God.
Or a persuasion. I'll also let you roll acrobatics as well, because this is kind of a kind of like
acrobatics.
Yeah.
A hawk-robatic. And like I think also lets out like a piercing hawk screech that I'm sure everyone can hear, but specifically trying to like draw their attention and maybe shock them back to themselves. Oh God, that's so bad. Everyone else is rolling so well, and my dice say, nah. Okay, so that is... The Hawk's dexterity is a 2, and then I get to add the 3. I'm just trying to... Back to Druid basics for me. So that is a 10 total.
Okay, you come flying up, and you try to do this sort of like screeching hawk, frightening attack. The Eldritch Blast at the back causes it to lurch forward, and it pretty just kind of like, before you can get into like full hawk splendor, it just kind of like bonks you. This glass bubble, as it kind of like lurches forward from the leg getting fucked up in the back, and it startles the pilot a little bit, and you see sort of like those swirly eyes like flicker for a second, but doesn't have the full effect. So you can tell that you are able to shake this person out of this. That wasn't enough to do it.
It's the full squeegee sound of the hawk sliding down the glass.
You can see that the back of the top of the tavern is kind of flat with this domed bubble and all these crystals. So if you want to, there is plenty of space to stand. So don't feel obligated to stay in hawk form. But if you want to stay in hawk form, by all means, live your best bird life.
Yeah, we're birding it up.
Hell yeah. V, these bouncers are closing in on you. You are welcome to toe-to-toe with these bad boys.
Oh, I know.
You're also welcome to do whatever you want. If you want to fight these things, we're just going to roll initiative. We're just going to go into initiative mode. But if you want to do something else, by all means, let me know and we can figure that out.
Yeah. What if I kicked a little pebble? And what if, as that little pebble kind of tossed its way down across the floor, I cast a little minor illusion on it, because I have that for some reason. And I said, maybe this little rock is not a rock. Maybe this little rock is like a cartoon bomb, with like the ticking and like the burning, like a burning fuse. And it's going to roll like just past me down on the ground of the tavern. And I'm gonna be like, whoa, that's more of a threat to this place for sure, guys. For sure.
Okay, I will let you roll either Deception or Arcana.
Okay.
Or Performance. I don't know if you have Performance, but I'll take a Performance as well.
Gang, we're gonna say that all of those things are mathematically the same. But I appreciate it so much. That's gonna be a hot 5 for deception.
Wow.
They look at you and they say, "She has a bomb. Get her." Are you a tabletop RPG enthusiast looking to take your tabletop game to the next level? Well, then you don't want to sleep on Eldritch Foundry. Eldritch Foundry provides custom, original minis based on your own creations. You can bring in whatever character that you are playing currently or you want to make in the future, and you can bring them to life in full 3D printed glory. And soon, with their upcoming Kickstarter, you'll be able to do this in full color. Eldritch Foundry miniatures are the gold standard in full color. They are ready to play, ready to throw on your table, and are better quality than pre-painted minis that you'd pick up at your gaming store. And I hear what you're thinking, but I don't play in person anymore. We play online like so many other people. Well, that's not a problem, because the Kickstarter color engine will have full integration with major 3D virtual tabletops, including Tailspire, and more to be announced on the way. If you've ever used Eldritch Foundry, you'll know how much control you have over the character that you want to build, from race and clothes and hair and eyes and facial expressions and poses. You have a lot of options. And now, with the color engine, you'll have even more. The color engine will allow you to paint digitally over your miniatures, much like you would as if you had them in your hand with your own brushes and paints, giving you complete creative control and freedom to paint your minis however you want. This includes freehand painting and traditional techniques like highlights and recess shaders, and more features to be unlocked as stretch goals throughout the Kickstarter. So if you're looking to add a little bit of custom flair and color onto your table, be sure to check out the link in our episode description that'll bring you to the Kickstarter for Eldritch Foundry's color engine. Once again, check out the link in our episode description to bookmark the Kickstarter so you're notified when it launches and you're able to get on board on the ground floor, because this is not something you're going to want to miss. I think we are now in initiative with this. So if everyone would like to roll initiative,
Okay.
Including us?
include everyone, this is just how we're going to resolve the rest of this situation.
Also, don't forget to take a luck when you fail a check.
Are checks included in that? I thought it was saves and attack rolls.
Yeah, I think you are correct.
If you fail to hit an attack roll or a save.
Okay.
But you also can award a luck for anything that you say.
You like.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
so just attacks
wanted
and
to go.
saves.
Like if someone was just like really handsome, you could give
Yeah. Yeah, so 5 luck points. Yeah.
Also,
Lucky.
like, maybe if someone's wearing really cute jorts, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Or has a really cool catchphrase like "Holy Blast."
The rest of this campaign is just going to be you guys pitching
Competing
what you
for
can
luck
get
points.
luck points for.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
This sure was a time to roll a natural 20.
Nailed.
Hell yeah.
Yee.
You got this.
Could have used that natural 20 one roll ago, and yet.
Always how it works out.
Okay. Now what'd you get?
I got an 11. I feel like that's about right for Marcus.
I also got an 11.
I also have an 11.
Oh my god. Triplets!
Kai, what'd you get?
Natural 20 for a 22.
Woo!
Hell yeah. And last but not least, Q, Rovin.
16.
Who has the best dex between Niall, Dylan, and
I have a 2.
Ryan?
I have a
I got
1.
bagel.
Okay, perfect. That makes it nice and easy. Don't worry, y'all. My robot bouncers also beefed it.
Great.
We're starting off. Tyree, it is your turn. You are currently sort of like circling, flying around this dome cockpit.
Not for long.
You were able to sort of like shake the pilot a little bit, but they are back to doing their thing.
After the unwelcome contact with the dome of the pilot seat, Tyree indignantly shakes it all off. All the feathers kind of ruffle, and then they begin to just molt off as he like reforms as a person as a bonus action. I'm gonna shed my hawk form, and as my action, I am going to wild shape again. Using my second wild shape of the day, since this is clearly the thing we're here to guard for, guard against. It's now unclear. Tyree's not a details guy,
Sure.
but what he is into finishing the job and doing it well, but in the way that he thinks is well. And by that logic, he shakes off all the feathers, and you see the like eruption of curly red hair again, but immediately his face almost like warps out of shape again and hardens as a chitinous head replaces his small head and begins to grow into this massive shape of a large chitinous Ankeg. And the Ankeg yells at the dome of this spider person pilot, this time with its mandibles kind of shaking and rattling as it leans over trying to get its attention again.
What's an onkag?
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like I know what it is, obviously.
yeah.
But if you
Yes.
could describe it for the audience so they know what it is.
Large insect-like chitin-shelled. When I say large, I mean like horse-sized large insect with I think it's got 6 legs and mandibles, as well as like pincer claw arms. It looks like a burrowing beetle that was made far too large, and it's got like green for Tyree's, it's got like green with a slight iridescent red sheen to the chitinous shell, and they have like large insectoid red eyes. They're quite terrifying, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say this sounds like a nightmare.
From his nightmares, Tyree uses this particular form when it seems like things aren't going well. And so, yeah, he leans over and shrieks in this terrifying Ankeg shriek towards the domed pilot.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Druids in the system, I can make them worse. They can now turn into Ankegs. Welcome to Tales of the Valiant, everyone.
Love that.
What is your intent here? What are you trying to accomplish?
Just scaring scaring the pilot back into themselves as much as possible.
I will take an intimidation roll then. And I'm going to give you advantage for this because I hate it.
I'm really glad because I was about to be like, well, what about a little advantage? And I didn't want to be that guy, so.
Yeah, no. I'm going to give you, like, if I had to deal with this, I would be not great. So I think advantage for this is fair. It's terrifying.
That is with a -2, a 12.
Okay. Everyone who's currently in the tavern feels it lurch forward for a second as it comes to a halt. As this spider person inside the cockpit has, for a very brief moment, this time a lot longer than that sort of like flash the first time, you can tell that they like are kind of like looking at their hands and looking around, and they very obviously do not know where they are. Before they slowly start, you can tell that they're going back to grab onto the controls. Rovan, it is your turn. I'm going to say, between all this nonsense, up to you whether you are back in the tavern or if you want to be closer to the ground. It is up to you. There was a lot's happened, so you would have had plenty of time to get up or down.
I think I'm back up. Because I was going back and forth, getting the no longer confuzzled workers. Yeah, heading back up into the space, and there are the two bodyguards who are refusing to let Vi get in.
That is correct. You can see that they are now, like, before they were just kind of like trying to be tough and menacing. Now it looks like they're getting ready to attack.
Oh, or nar, don't like that. Cool. Then, looking at that, I'm just gonna kind of look down at Vi to see how they're doing.
Good to see you, bud.
Excuse me. Please get away from my little friend. That would be good. And he just like he starts to pull the bow out that he has, and he starts to like slowly knock it. And he's like, Sandy always says you should probably just act without talking, but I feel like sometimes you should talk. Please step away, or I will let this loose.
Yeah.
No? Then I apologize. I'm going to aim as a bonus action, which is going to give me an additional +3 to this attack, and I'm going to let the arrow loose towards one of them. So this is going to be 27 hit.
Yes, 27 absolutely hits.
Great. So two things are going to happen. One, you're going to take some damage. That is 11 points of piercing damage. More importantly, this is a pinning shot. And on a hit, the target gets to make a strength or a dex save, or their speed is going to be 0 until the end of its next turn.
Well, it is certainly going to do a strength save, or at least attempt to. That is an 11.
Nori. And the I don't know what if they have any like clothing or anything upon their farm. It's just the arrow's going to get go through that and get pinned into the wall that's next to them. And so their speed is 0. They can use an action to attempt to free themselves with a athletics or an acrobatics check versus my DC.
Okay.
And seeing that one go, they just look at the other one and loose the second arrow. They do have 2 attacks.
Oh no.
We lost it. We lost the die.
No, I think it's a 1.
Nope.
That is a 1.
Oh no. Okay.
I'll get a luck.
You aim dead center, you pinpoint accurate. You launch the first arrow to the first bodyguard, and it catches right under his arm and clips like a pillar, and it holds his suit jacket to the thing. You can see him struggling, and as you line up the second shot, you let it loose. Vi, could you give me?
No.
I sure can. I have advantage on those, I'll have you know.
Don't say it out loud.
That's a 15.
I will consider that a success. You see the arrow that Rovan has let go sort of the second time swings past you, and it just kind of like clips your collar. Oh. And you could tell that probably would have pinned you also to like the same wall as the other guard, but you are safe.
Sorry.
That gave me tingles.
Marcus.
So the back leg is dragging?
The back leg is dragging, yes. And well, technically right now, the whole thing is stopped.
Yeah, Marcus is going to run over to that back leg that's been dragging, and he's going to touch the very end of it, and I'm going to put my adhesive augment on it and stick it to the street.
Okay.
Like, oh God. He doesn't want anyone to see him cast sticky hands because it's not cool, but no one's looking. Everyone's up there, so He's just sticky hands. And
Hey, hi, Marcus. What
what?
are you doing over there?
Nothing. It's someone dropped a bunch of gunk on this thing, but it looks like it won't move, so that's good.
Very innovative. Great idea.
Yeah, I'm like wiping his hand desperately on his jorts.
Stuck to your jorts.
Oh God.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand. No.
I will.
Are there rules for this, or is it just like amorphous stickiness?
1,000 pounds of pressure.
Okay.
So it's
Great.
pretty sticky.
Then I was gonna like make you roll an Arcana or something to see how sticky it is, but that's pretty sticky.
Usually I would have to use like an hour of touching, but I have something I can use a bonus action to put an augment on. So I'm using
An hour of touching to make things sticky makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's not good.
I don't like that a bit. Roll me a
Feels
D4.
bad.
a D4.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a 4.
Hell yeah. Great. So you can see it's like trying to like pull itself. But right now it seems like between what Tyree did and what you've done, this stupid tavern is immobile for what seems like the foreseeable future.
Can I start to run up the leg then towards the tavern?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just stuck, I guess, somehow. Bye. Start running up.
Zavo, your turn.
I think at this point, because I don't want to do any more damage to something we're trying to protect on the outside. Where did Vergist go today? Like, is he still? Do I know he's still in the tavern? Did he go on an errand? Did he go to see the mayor?
That, Zavo, is an excellent question. You don't know where he went.
Okay, so I think all I'm going to do then is move as quick as I can, following Marcus up into the tavern to join everybody else.
Okay, perfect. So I assume it's going to be like a dash.
Yeah.
You're going to use all your actions to get up there. Then I will say that you are able to get into the tavern. You see sort of the situation. Roven sort of just launching arrows at these bodyguards. And what will now happen, Vi, what are you doing? This is what you're seeing as soon as you come up, Zavo.
What is happening in here?
Well, and they're still heading towards me, so there's not much I can do here. So I'm gonna run up to these bodyguards and take a swing at them with my great axe. I'm gonna try to disarm them, which it seems like they were just punching their fists. So I'm gonna say disarming just
Literally.
will mean that they're maybe confused or knocked out or something.
Here's a deal I'll make with you. They get 2 slam attacks. If you disarm them, they'll get 1 slam attack.
We love that.
I will also give you advantage on the one bodyguard that's currently pinned to the pillar.
Right.
You'll have advantage on there.
Well, I'm gonna give a shot on both. So I'll take the advantage first. That's gonna be a 19 to hit
That hits, yep.
for a 12 slashing, 1 magical damage.
Kick ass. Yeah, you're using an axe?
I'm using my axe, but my axe is like stone, so I'm trying to hit them with the blunt end of it.
Okay. When you hit on an attack, are they disarmed now? Or is that a separate thing you got to do?
I love that question. It's such a good question. What it is, they get a strength or dex save, and they get to choose which it is.
They will do strength.
Okay.
God damn it.
What?
That's an 8.
Yeah, baby.
This as you get close, you can see this guy's trying to like pull himself and this arrow out of the pillar. And as you get close, he sort of like raises his hand up to sort of swat you away and just gives you a picture perfect opportunity to just smash his arm off.
I didn't really want to do that. You understand. You just were being unreasonable.
It looks at him, he says, "Ma'am, you have had too much to drink. It is time for you to go."
I wish.
And then you're going to attack the other one, right?
Yes, I can. I'm going to turn around and attack the other one. 23 to hit.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be for a 8 slashing, 1 magic.
Hell yeah. It is their turn. You said it's an action to pull themselves out.
Yep, they have to make a save, but yeah.
I assume it's a strength save again, like their choice?
Is it a athletics or an acrobatics check?
Oh, okay. No, nope.
Rip.
Yeah.
And the other can take their action to also attempt to grab them
help?
out of it. Not help, but literally they can use their action to try to do it. Yeah, do it themselves if the other one were to fail.
This robot that's currently pinned to the wall, you see him sort of like turn and then like almost phantom limb realizes he doesn't have an arm, and now he's trying to sort of like get his other arm down, but just can't manage to get it because of not having an arm anymore. But the other one is doesn't give a shit about his friend and is going to run up and try to bonk Vi twice.
Oh no. You're not going to come at the big, strong orc, who's definitely probably weaker?
Good lord. It would be cool if I rolled over a 10.
I'm okay with it.
Oof.
Double digits is, tends to be where you want to go.
Yeah. The last one is an 18 to hit against your AC, Vi.
The 18 will hit.
And I'm assuming an 11 won't.
It sure won't. No.
Okay. Well, you know what? At least I get to do something. This bouncer comes running in. You can see the fingers retract in to the palm, and then the palm just sort of like gets bigger and just makes sort of like a big mace, and it just comes crashing down on the top of your head for 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
That is so interesting. I'm going to have that.
Barbarians, though.
I
love that.
Yeah. So you said it was 13?
That is correct.
Oh my God. Half of 13 is something I know.
Are we rounding up or down?
6 or 7.
The rules say round down, I believe.
6?
Yeah, round down.
6.
Math.
Thank you.
And then as a bonus action, oh, no, they can't do that. Never mind, that's it. Top of the round, Tyree, I believe. Yep, Tyree.
All right. Given that this clearly I only lightly startled them, and let's face it, Tyree, not scary. The on-cake, terrifying. But I think that they understand that the intimidation route is not working. And so they're going to try and pry open the dome.
Yeah,
Just
for sure.
fully with the like pincers and all that stuff, just raw. And on-cakes like are known to burrow and things like that. So like kind of digs at the edges of it and tries to like wedge it up in a terrifying way.
Yeah, I will take an athletics or an attack roll. Whatever you want to give me.
I'll give you an athletics. Okay, I rolled a 5 again.
I will give you advantage as well, because if these things are burrowers...
I have a burrowing speed.
Oh, damn.
That's so kind of you. That's a 16.
Okay, yeah, you're able to get your mandibles and your pincers and all your creepy beetle things under this dome and just sort of like pop it off like a toy. It goes flying off, and you hear it sort of like crash down below you and shatter. And this... I'm going to give you a free intimidation check again, because this spider's spooked.
That's a 15. 17 minus 2.
The second you do this, the spider once again kind of like you see him snap out of it, and he turns around and he just goes, "Where am I? What is this?"
Hello?
And it looks at you and it goes, "What the fuck?" And you see with all of its legs, it like skitters out, jumps. A web shoots out from it. It attaches to a nearby building and just like disappears. You just see it like run as far and as fast away from you as possible.
Pleasure to meet you.
All of a sudden you see the tavern now sort of like almost kneels. It loses all of its power and goes, and you hear the hydraulics sort of release as it starts lowering to the ground. And it now looks, other than the giant legs, looks like an actual tavern now that it's like on the ground. It looks like an actual building. Is there anything you would like to do? I will say now that it's on the ground, if you want to use your move speed to get into the tavern, you can do that. But I believe you still have like an action and stuff. So
I think Tyree just kind of skitters down the side in a creepy insect-like way, but all the while, like, sweet, light, gnomish voice coming out of it, like, "Oh, hello, excuse me, pardon me." As
you do, these clockwork bouncers stop. As the tavern lowers, you see the bouncers just like has Vi gripped by the collar and is just kind of like bonking them on the head. The other one is frantically trying to unpin himself, and then they just kind of go and go limp. The one holding on to you, Vi, releases and once again drops down.
Yeah, that's right.
And you hear laughter outside. And like a applause, and you hear someone like running and saying, "You did it! You did it! You did it! You did it!" And a old man in the most wizard-looking outfit you've ever seen. He's got like the blue robes and the big blue hat. He's got this massive gray beard. He slams through the door and he says, "You did it!" And you can see he's like overjoyed. He's like, listen, silence. We did it.
You're welcome."
And he goes over to you, Marcus, and he like scoops you up and he like begins like shaking you and just says, "Do you hear? No meteors. No cracking earth. No
Meteors?
firestorms.
Firestorms?
No demons or angels come to... We've done it. We've done it.
I just kind of look at everybody else. I'm like, is it always like this?
I thought it was a festival, not the apocalypse.
He looks at you, Zavo, and he says, "Shh! Don't utter that word. Not anymore.
Okay.
For we have averted it."
Festival?
Festival?
Don't say that. Just say apocalypse.
He runs out of the tavern and looks around, and he reaches his arms out to the sky and he says, "We did it!" And then at his feet, you notice a small crack as the earth begins to rumble. And throughout these cobblestone streets, you see almost like a spiderweb network of cracks beginning to run, and then they crack open even wider. Full houses begin tipping down into these chasms that are now ripping through Savengrad. And he turns to look at you and he says, "Oh no, not again."
Oh, no, it's because we said festival.
Again?
He totally said not to say it.
Marcus instantly just poof, into this big metal armor that fits him perfectly. So just a metal lizard standing there and a fainting goat. He just kind of tips over.
He says, "I just hope it's not tentacles again."
What?
From the depths of these cracks in the earth, you see these wriggling purple and black tendrils, semi-transparent, almost ethereal, and they reach out, and all of them go to grab you.
I think I'm gonna put Ovani, if they allow, onto my shoulder, being a small creature and I'm pretty big. Just say, I hope my husband is okay with me going away for a while because this looks bad.
The tendrils all start wriggling out. Once again, they're almost like Kraken-esque, wrapping around buildings and pulling them down and into this chasm until sort of the only thing left standing is this pillar that the wizard is standing on and the pillar that the tavern and you are standing on. And out from this murky depths of the chasms is this beautiful, almost like mermaid-esque woman where the tendrils and tentacles are coming out from under her, and she raises her finger and snaps. And can you all give me intelligence saves, please?
No.
With disadvantage.
No, probably can't get worse than what I already rolled, so that's good.
Oh, one of mine was a natural 20, Dane. That was pretty weird.
Well, I'm sure an 8's gonna do it, right?
How about a 5?
How about a
other
3?
way. 9. Oh, God.
Cool.
We're doing so good.
15.
We're real smart.
15.
Great. Zavo, the brave, you live up to your name as you take a step forward, and the rest of you, the four of you who are behind, you watch as Zavo's head explodes.
Oh, God.
And he drops to his knees, lifeless. And then, shortly after, Rovin, your head explodes. And then Marcus's head explodes. Tyree, and finally, Vi,
I thought it wasn't going to happen to me.
your head. Complete and utter darkness. You feel yourself descending, falling. In this perfect void, a small silver thread winds its way down to you, taps you on the chest, grabs you, and it begins sort of like cocooning you in this comforting silk-like thread, and then yanks you out of this darkness. And then the five of you approach a small cottage. A wizard wearing a blue hat and a large white beard and robes opens the door and says, "Ah, you're back.